Hi, it's Tina today, and today I would like to show you how I created the art journal pages with my August kit. So I pulled out my old vintage art journal that I've been using for my Frog Dog Studio kits, and I'm just going to cover up a couple of my pages with some gesso. That's what I'm doing right here, and you can see I'm not being too specific about it. I just want to have a good coating of gesso on my pages. And what I thought I would do, this product is not in the August kit. I think I probably will put some of this in a future kit because I really loved this product. It's by Lindy Stamp Gang. It's called Magicals, and it's a mica powder form, and you can see the color is intense and it is just absolutely gorgeous. But I wanted some color to my background pages, but not a whole lot. So I just sprinkled some of that onto the gesso, and you can see me just blending that in. Again, I'm not being too overly specific, but it created a really fun background. Then what I did when the pages were dry, I just took several of the ephemera sheets. I cut out some of the squares and just ripped some of the spare pieces out, and I used some of the gel medium to adhere it to my background page. Then what I did, I took one of my stencils from my stash, and this is the feather stencil, in which I thought would be absolutely gorgeous with this background. And I'm applying some of the glitter paste from the August kit, which glitter paste has a really fun medium to it, because you can see on the right side of the page, when I applied the glitter paste through the stencil, it started pulling up more of that green powder that sat in the gesso, and you can really see it in the detail when it dries. You can see it very well on this page right here. You can see where it pulled up that green. It's just an awesome way. That glitter paste, I tell you, I've used probably half my bottle already on my projects. It's gorgeous. I'll probably have to get another bottle of it just for my own stash. But so what I'm doing now is, once the glitter paste was dry, I'm just taking some of my watercolor paint, and I kind of wanted to create an ombre look to the page with a darker blue at the top and moving down towards yellow on the bottom. So you can see that's what I'm doing here, just mixing the different colors on my page, in between some of the modeling paste for the feathers. And again, I never am really specific. I'm just dabbing on the watercolor and letting it blend wherever it chooses to blend on the page. That's one reason I love art journaling, because it kind of is a messy art form, and I really actually like that. It's not real specific. It can be specific, but when I do art journaling, it's not. It's kind of just a free form, playing with your product and just seeing what kind of result you can get. So now I'm just taking some of the watercolor paint and splattering it onto the top of it. And when it dried, because it is watercolor, it created kind of a cool halo effect around each droplet on the top of the page. So I'm just adding, again, some more interest and texture to my art journal page by doing that. And I wanted to pull a little bit more of the yellow into it, so I'm just using my watercolor paint and going right on top of each one of the feathers, and then dabbing a little bit off, so it just kind of seeps down into the crevices of the glitter paste, again, just to kind of pull a little bit more of the yellow onto my page. Now I'm just putting some blue. Actually, you'll find out towards the end of the video that I ended up whitening that up. I wish I had kind of actually left it some yellow, but with gesso you can add more yellow to it later. That's the wonder about gesso. If you don't like something, you can cover it up and kind of start all over again. So now that the watercolor was dry, you can see me, like I said, adding some gesso to different parts of my page, and you'll see me use this frequently. I use my fingers and I just kind of smear it on and add it on, and again it builds on those layers. I'm constantly talking about adding layers with color, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of adding more interest to the page and just adding more layers onto my page. I find using my fingers I have a lot of control about where I want the paint or the gesso to go, more so than a paintbrush. That's why I do use my fingers quite often. So now what I wanted to do is again add more layers of color. So I'm pulling out some of my big big brush Pitt pens in some of the colors that match the colors on my page, and I'm going to add those directly onto some of the feathers on the page, and again just kind of build more color. And I was starting lightest to darkest, so I'm taking some of the lightest yellows that I have and layering those colors first. That's one thing that you should do when you're creating. Always go lightest to darkest on your projects when you're layering color. So I'm starting with this yellow here. And this is just a darker shade of yellow. I apologize for my light that's in that corner of my page. I didn't realize it until my video was done. These pens are actually some of my favorites. You see me use those often in my art journal pages. I will try to get some of those in some future kits. It's one of those products that you will use over and over and over again. They have so many uses. You can stamp with them. You can use them to shade colors. You can use them to create canvases. They're really pretty awesome. You can see my colors are getting darker now. I'm more into the greens. And actually, as I was doing this journal, again, because I'm kind of playing around as I'm creating my art journal pages, and you'll see me just like I did earlier. I will actually cover up that green area in the spine of the art journal page. I really didn't like how it looks. I'll just cover it with gesso again. That's like I've said repeatedly, gesso is honestly probably my best friend when it comes to mixed media. You can see I can get pretty messy when I'm creating art journal pages. It's kind of just dab it and go. I'm just trying to pull some of the blue that I used in the tops of the feathers onto the top of the page with my Pitt pens, and again you can see these are so awesome because you can just put a little strip of them and just start blending them. Actually, that one was almost out. I've used that color yellow so much. I actually need to get a new one, so I thought I'd just go in with my lighter one. And this is permanent too, so you can build color on top of color, which is awesome. So now what I thought I would do is add some more droplets, and instead of the watercolor paint, I thought I would try some distress paint or distress stain. Again, it reacts with water, so I just wet the top of the dauber down with some water, and I'm using a paintbrush and I'm just flicking it. And this is actually the mustard seed color, so it's the yellow that kind of goes with it. I loved how it turned out. It totally just spread out and created a really cool look on the page, in mixing it in with the Pitt pens and with the watercolor paint. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with some more of the darker blue. I think the color was, I don't remember what color it was that I used on my page, but it's one of the darker blues of Distress Stain. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the background of my art journal page. I think I'm just getting my stash right now. So the same thing, just wetting the top of the dauber down with some water and splattering it on. It's awesome. I totally love it. Really like that look. And this was just a bottle of spray mist that I had sitting on my desk. It was like a iridescent black blue color from Lindy Stamp Gang, and just to kind of bring out some dark and ground the whole page down, I splattered it, just took the lid off and splattered it down on my page. So now I'm just going to, I love circles. I put circles on almost everything, and this was a packaging from something. I'm not sure what. I've had it in my stash forever, and I'm just dipping the end of it into some of the spare gesso I had on my craft mat and adding some circles down to my art journal page. And then I typed out the sentiment that I wanted to put on my art journal page, and now I'm just figuring out where I want to place it on my art journal page. So that's what I'm doing right here. Just actually moving it all up because it wasn't where I wanted it. So I adhered that all down to my art journal page with some matte medium, and I went ahead and adhered one of the whales because the sentiment talks about the ocean, and I thought that would be a perfect addition from the kit. I love those whales from the kit. And then you can also see that I'm adding more texture to my page. I just took one of my stamps from my stash and I'm rolling it onto the page. It's nice. I don't use a stamp block for it, because when you're doing an art journal page, instead of having a very set pattern, it creates a random pattern. And now I'm using some distress paint again on another stamp just to add more of that texture to my background. You can also see on the circles that I had originally stamped, I added more color to the circles and added some numbers inside each circle, again just to add some more dimension to my art journal page. And now I'm taking my doodling pen and I'm just outlining each one of the words from my sentiment. And then just adding a little bit of more randomness to my circles and just outlining each one. My doodling pen. And then I used some of the Inka Gold from the kit, and I thought it would be fun to have a little bit of more shimmer to the page. So I'm just applying it to the edges of my art journal page, again, just to add some more color, some more depth to the page. And it really kind of pulled it all in. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial today on my art journal page, and I hope you can get your August kit out and create an awesome art journal page. We would love to see it on Facebook. So please share your projects on Facebook. We want to see what you create with your kits. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.